Good morning. Talking to Facebook over here. So I got Facebook over on my phone. I got YouTube. I'm running with StreamYard right now on YouTube. So it is Saturday, which means it's AA day. Yes, I missed Tuesday. I was not feeling good. I was supposed to start going to my parents on Tuesday this week, and I felt icky, and I was not going to go up there and take a chance on getting them sick. So I'd rather have them healthy than sick. But if you're new here, welcome. Don't be afraid to talk. This is a judgment-free zone, and no bullying. If you can't say anything nice, don't say it. And if you're going to talk about alcohol that you are drinking while in an AA meeting, that's just whatever, I can't tell you can't. And for those of you that may say, oh, well, they're in your chat, so they're the alcoholic, absolutely wrong. Because I do this live, I do have just some of my subscribers come in and let me know that their support is behind me, and maybe they're here to learn some way of bettering their life, or help a family member or a friend with trying to get them sober. So that's what I'm doing this for. After all, it is a gift that you get when you go to AA, and we don't keep it to ourselves. We tell everybody that might need the help, or just wants to figure out some way to help their friend or their family member to have a better life and become sober and live a sober life, because it is possible. It is so very possible. I will be 10 in November, and I didn't even think I'd make it to 1. So I used to always say to myself exactly how long I had to wait till I got that next coin. And I don't do that anymore. I just know it's on the day, and it's a great day for me because it is a significant aspect of my life that has changed who I was to who I am now, a better version of myself. And so with that, I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer, and then we will get into the book. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we are in the 12 steps and 12 traditions. I always put it in the description on my YouTube. If you see the more under the video, you push on that and it will tell you what book and what page and all of that good stuff. So you can follow along. if you don't have a book, there are all kinds of apps for AA that you can download. And I have one on my phone. It is Daily Reflections, but it has the books on there. It has my sobriety date on there. And it tells me the daily reflection for the day, which I always read after I'm done reading and sharing about my journey in the AA group. And I'll post it on my Facebook wall like I always do, just in case if anybody wanted to know. That's what I do. I'm Sandra, and I'm an alcoholic. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory of ourselves and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Tradition 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2. For our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as He may express Himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3. The only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4. Each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to alcoholics who still suffer. 6. An AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every AA group ought to be self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name not aim ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relation policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of our traditions, ever reminding us to place Personality is place principles before personalities. I always get tongue tied there. So right now we are in the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book, Tradition 8, page 166. If you don't have a book, don't worry, I'm going to read it anyway. Tradition 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. Alcoholics Anonymous will never have a professional class. We have gained some understanding of the ancient word, freely ye have received, freely give. We have discovered that at the point of professionalism, money and spirituality do not mix. Almost no recovery from alcoholism has ever been brought about by the world's best professionals, whether medical or religion. We do not decry professionalism in our fields, but we accept the sober fact that it does not work for us. Every time we have tried to professionalize our 12th step, the result has been exactly the same. One single purpose has been defeated. Copper, please stop. Don't eat it. Hey, Copper, stop. Sorry about that. Alcoholism simply will not listen to a paid 12th stepper almost from the beginning. We have been positive that face to face work with the alcoholic receptors could be based only on the desire to help and be helped. When an AA talks for money, whether at a meeting or to a single newcomer, it can have a very bad effect on him, too. The money motive compromises him, and everything he says and does for his prospect. This has always been so obvious that only a very few AAs have ever worked the 12 step for a fee. Despite this certainty, it is nevertheless true that few subjects, copper, have been the cause of more contention within our fellowship than professionalism. Caretakers who swept floors, cooked who fried burgers, secretaries in offices, authors writing books, all these we have seen hotly assailed because they were, as their critics angrily remarked, making money out of AA, ignoring the fact that these laborers were not 12-step jobs at all. The critics attacked as AA professionals these workers of ours who were often doing thankless tasks that no one else could or would do. Even greater fears were provoked when AA's members began to run rest homes and farms for alcoholics. Copper! When some hired out to corporations as professional men in charge of the alcoholic program or problem in industry, when some became nurses on alcoholic wards, when others entered the field of alcohol education. In all these instances and more, it was claimed that AA knowledge and experience were being sold for money. Hence, these people too were professionals. At last, however, a plain line of cleavage could be seen between professionalism and non professionalism. When we had agreed that the 12 step couldn't be sold for money, we had been wise. But when we had declared that our fellowship couldn't hire service workers, nor could any a member carry our knowledge into other fields, we were taking the counsel of fear which today has been largely dispelled in the light of experience. Take the case of the club janitor and cook. If a club is going to function, it has to be habitable and hospitable. We tried volunteers who were quickly disenchanted with sweeping floors and brewing coffee 7 days a week. They just didn't show up. Even more important, an empty club couldn't answer its telephone, but it was an open invitation to a drunk on a binge who possessed a spare key, so somebody had to look after the place full time. If we hired an alcoholic, he'd receive only what he'd have to pay a non alcoholic for the same job. Stop. The job was not to do 12-step work, it was to make 12-step work possible. It was a service position, pure and simple. Neither could AA itself function without full-time workers at the foundation and intergroup offices. We couldn't employ non-alcoholics as secretaries. We had to have people who knew the AA pitch. But the minute we hired them, the ultra ultra conservative and fearful ones shrilled professionalism at one period. The status of these faithful servants was almost unbearable. They weren't asked to speak at AA meetings because they were making money out of AA. At times, they were actually shunned by fellow members. Even the charitable disposed described them as a necessary evil. Committees took full advantage of this attitude to depress their salaries. They could regain some measure of if virtue, it was thought, if they worked for a real cheap. These notions persisted for years. Then we saw that if a hard-working secretary answered the phone dozens of times a day, listened to 20 wailing wives, arranged hospitalizations, and got sponsorship for 10 newcomers, and we gently diplomatic with the irate drunk who complained about the job she was doing and how she was overpaid, then such a person could surely not be called a professional AA. She was not professionalizing the AA 12 the 12 step. She was just making it possible. She was helping to give the man coming in the door the break he ought to have. Volunteer committeemen and assistants could be a great help, but they could not be expected to carry this load day in and day out. At the foundation, the same story repeats itself. 8 tons of books and literature per month do not package and channel themselves all over the world. Snacks of letters, or sacks of letters on every conceivable AA problem, ranging from a lonely heart Eskimo to the growing pains of thousands of groups, must be answered by people who know. Right contact contacts must be answered by people who know. I just um, Right contacts with the world outside have to be maintained. AA's lifeline has been intended so we hire AA staff members, we pay them well, and they earn what they get. They are professional secretaries, but they certainly are not professionals AAs. Perhaps the fear will always lurk in every AA heart that one day our name will be exploited by somebody for real cash. Even the suggestion of such a thing never fails to whip up a hurricane, and we have discovered that hurricanes have a way of mauling with equal severity both the just and the unjust. They are always unreasonable. No individual have been more buffed by such emotional gusts than those AAs bold enough to accept employment with outside agencies dealing with the alcohol problem. A university wanted an AA member to educate the public on alcoholism. A corruption or a corporation wanted a professional man familiar with the subject. A state drunk farm wanted a manager who could really handle inabilities. A city wanted an experienced social worker who understood what alcohol could do to a family. A state alcohol commission wanted a paid researcher. These are only a few of the jobs which AA members as individuals have been asked to fill. Now and then, AA's members have bought farms or restaurants where badly beat up toppers could find needed care. The question was, and sometimes still is, as such activities to be branded as professionalism under AA tradition. Hey, Roy and Becky. We think the AA is no members who select such full-time careers do not professionalize AA's 12 steps. The road to this conclusion was long and rocky. At first, we couldn't see the real issue involved. In former days, the moment an AA hired out to such enterprises, he was immediately tempted to use the name Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money-raising purpose. Drunk farms, educational ventures, state legislatures, and commissions advertised the fact that AA's members served them unthinkingly. AAs, though employed recklessly, broke anonymity to thump the tab for their pet enterprise. For this reason, some very good causes and all connected with them suffered unjust criticism from AA's groups. More often than not, these onslaughts were spearheaded by the cry, professionalism, that guy is making money out of AA. Yet not a single one of them had been hired to do AA's 12 step work. The violation is in these instances was not professionalism at all. It was breaking an anonymity. AA's sole purpose was being compromised, and the name of Alcoholics Anonymous was being misused. It is significant now that almost no AA in our fellowship breaks anonymity at the public level, that nearly all these fears have subsided. We see that we have no right or need to discourage AA, who wish to work as individuals in these wider fields. It would be actually antisocial were we to forbid them. We cannot declare AA such a closed corporation that we keep our knowledge and experiences top secret. If an AA member acting as a citizen can become a better researcher, educator, professional officer, then why not? Everybody gains and we have lost nothing. True, some of the projects to which AAs have attached themselves have been ill conceived, but that makes not the slightest difference with the principle involved. This is the exciting welter of events which have fully cast upon AA traditions of non-professionalism. Our 12th step is never to be paid for, but those who labor in service for us are worthy of their hire. Let's see. I'm going to read this. It's down at the bottom of the page. It says, in 1954, the name of the Alcoholic Foundation Incorporated was changed to the General Service Board of Alcoholics Anonymous Incorporated, and the foundation office is now the General Service Office. The work of present-day staff members has no counterpart among the job categories of commercial organizations. These AAs bring a wide range of businesses and professional experience to their service at the General Service Office. So I go to a group. I go to a very small group, and we don't say anything about uh, them taking money or making money. No, I did service work. I put out pamphlets on counters. You don't get paid for that. I have passed out books. I have put chairs up. I have moved tables. It's all what we do in a group, and we don't get paid for it. But it is a group thing, and because it's all part of our service for AA being free and being that space that we can go to and have the conversations that we haven't thought of having, like especially if you're a newcomer and you don't want to talk to anybody at all. Believe me, I was there. Would not even be doing this right now if it was not for going to AA and having a home group, for sure. But we do have to employ those people, um, for all those positions that people don't want to do, and we can't expect them to do that without getting some sort of compensation, right? Because they are doing a lot of work, um, and it's every day of the week. I mean, AA does not stop going ever. You can find a meeting any time of any day and anywhere. And that's the great thing about AA. And we don't have to make a lot of money doing the higher paying, the higher things of AA. But we do have to have those people that we employ that can run it smoothly for us. So we don't have to worry about everything going all haywire. I mean, but it's still not, it's anything that we talk about in a meeting stays in a meeting, and that's what it needs to do. Like if you don't want to tell somebody your story, that's not really opening yourself up to the possibilities that AA offers. Um, and we do have a secretary in our group that collects the money and goes and pays the rent and pays for the coffee and pays for the candy and pays for we always do uh uh thing at the park and a lunch barbecue. We do that at a park and we pay for that, so when we give that money for our coffee every week or twice a week or every day of the week, whatever it is, that helps to buy the things that we need and pay the bills that we need to pay. And it's all donations. It's not going to an outside person asking for money because we just don't do that. We have to support ourselves. That means support the group. All of us need to support the group. And there's been times that I don't have the money to pay into the coffee fund or the rent fund. And that's okay. You're not going to be judged because you can't put in $1. You're just not, because that's us alcoholics. We always end up with just $1, maybe. And but we all understand each other. We understand when we're on that low down. And that's what AA is understanding each other and realizing that you're not the only one. You're not the only alcoholic who suffers. You're not the only alcoholic just now finding AA. I was there. I'm not a newcomer anymore, but I'm certainly not, well, I guess maybe I am becoming an old timer. But um doing the AA program and knowing what everything means that you're reading, it it plays a big part, and being able to go through the traditions and understand why there are those things that we have to consider and need to pay for. and all of that stuff, and understanding what it is that we are doing. And I am so grateful for AA helping me to learn how to make myself, or how to get myself out of that rut of I gotta have that drink. I can't go without that drink. I have to make sure I get that drink in the morning. I have to make sure I pass out with one today. I don't do that. I have not done that for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. And I certainly don't plan on going back, because me then is not very nice. And I'm looking through the bigger window. I'm not going to look backwards because that's already gone. I'm going to keep going forward and keep making my life better every day and be a better person every day. And Roy, I'm sorry about your pup. I know it's hard. Um, you guys are in my thoughts and my prayers for sure. It's never easy. It made me cry, and I really, really feel bad. Um, but it's not hurting anymore, and he's up there running and playing and being a dog. So just think of it that way. Um, but yeah, AA has become a major part in my life. I use my steps every day. I quit smoking 5 weeks ago. Woo woo. My husband quit too, so we're doing it together again. We just got 5 weeks, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of us. Pretty proud of us. I know you do. I miss my Chub so much. I miss him more than anything. Um, it's not easy. Not easy. But I'm keeping you guys in my prayers, and it'll get easier. You'll never forget, but it'll get easier with time. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting, and don't forget over here on Facebook. I will go ahead and post the daily reflection. I'm gonna read it to you guys here on YouTube. So let's go ahead and say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you. Just a minute. Alrighty. Had to make sure it uploaded there. Over here. Over here. Over here. Okay. April 6th. A lifetime process. We were having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be a real help to other people. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 52. These words remind me that I have more problems than alcohol. that alcohol is only a symptom of a more pervasive disease. When I stopped drinking, I began a lifetime process of recovery from unruly, emotional, painful relationships and unmanageable situations. This process is too much for most of us without help from a higher power and our friends in the fellowship. When I began working and the steps of AA program, many of these tangled threads unraveled, but little by little, the most broken places of my life straightened out, one day at a time. Almost impeccably, I healed. You know, like a thermostat being turned down, my fears diminished. I began to experience movement or moments of contentment. My emotions became less vol- volatile. I am now once again a part of a human family. And that is so very true. So please say prayers for my friends Roy and Becky. I'm saying them for you as well. Um, but I hope everybody has a great Saturday and uh, stay sober. And if you haven't become sober and you feel like you need to, please reach out to your local AA meeting. Um, you can check it in Google, but there's meetings everywhere. So please don't give up. Sobriety is worth it. No matter how hard you think it is, it's going to be worth it. So, and you're never alone. Just always remember you're never alone. You've got this. I love you guys. Be safe.